Alright, good evening everybody. This is a short, or I hope short video about what I will call my No Mercy League experience, or also just like my point of view about certain topics like eSports.ch, No Mercy League, or Swiss esports in general. First and foremost, however, even though I'm gonna give some feedback now, or my point of view, that could be harsh, maybe, who knows. I just want to note that I'm thankful for everyone and every organization that tries to improve Swiss esports, that, well, make certain events such as the No Mercy League or different ones happen. So even though I might come over harsh right now or give some really bad feedback, like, don't stop going. That's not the point of it. The point of it is that I want to try to help you out, like, or let you know what we as viewers think of it, so that you can improve your content. So without further ado, let's jump onto the reason why I even do this video. So there was this new video, I think it came out today or yesterday. It came out today, which like the tournament update about what happened in Swiss esports in the last week, and those videos, the idea of it is really good, by the way, but it like made me furious. And know that I only talk about the Overwatch part here mostly because I know what Overwatch is about, and I have a plan up there, and I will mostly criticize that, or just like what I can criticize or what I feel like I have the right to criticize. I won't give like bad feedback somewhere where I have no idea about, like for example in CS:GO, like hell I don't know what's happening there. So I'll stay on what I think I know my stuff. So the video came out and there were some statements in the part of the No Mercy League Season 2 Qualifier 2. Like, let's just shoot them out, the sentences that made me think like, oh, I think something's wrong here. Like, for example, very well commentated, server pretty much ran over SPG, and when they put in their top plays in the video, um, that having a substitute and don't speak English has no or, influence on the performance. Like, um, and what made me like the most furious, is in the end of the part they ask, Lausanne, vous êtes où? That made me the most furious. So let's just run it down one by one and talk about the video and those statements, right? Or what bothers me the most. Let me just change the topic so you know what it's about. So I'll save some of this for later, but I want to just touch on a few points. So the first point I want to touch about was that it was said that Servet pretty much ran over SPG. So now take this with a grain of salt. You could think I'm just salty that you say that, but I'm not salty that you say they won against us. They won against us and they deserve to win. However, like saying that they ran over us is like makes me like question, like, did you even watch the tournament? Uh, because I don't think you did. That's something that infuriates me because in my eyes that's just like bad preparation, bad journalism, or however we call it. But you cannot just say server pretty much destroyed them and ran over them and there is no chance and blah 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 blah. Like I find that really like questionable. Like why would you say that? Like my opinion, you need to give an objective review of what happens, and that's not an objective review of what happened. And if you're not able to give an objective review of what happened because you don't comprehend the game at the level that, let's say, players from Geneva, Servet, or from Lausanne, or from SPG, or just the top players, to then ask someone for their opinion on what happened and then do that. Because if you look at the tweet that I shot out, like after I watched the video, I shot out a tweet that I was very disappointed on the No Mercy League part of that video. And if you scroll down, there were immediately like 5 or 6 responses, and people were messaging me, "Yeah, dude, like you're totally right. Like, what the fuck is going on?" And much of that was also because of exactly that call. Like they were laughing, "Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, server was running over SPG." So that's something you need to check. You need to check your facts, in my opinion. You need to care what you say. You can't give biased statements. They need to be as accurate as possible. And it's ironic that I say that now, like, right? Because probably my opinion is even more biased because I'm playing for SPG, but like I've coached teams, I have a pretty decent game knowledge, I have reviewed the VOD, and even in the VOD at the start, we're the one crashing over them for the first 2 checkpoints, for example, and that's not mentioned anywhere. Like that's what I mean. You need to have the whole picture in mind and not just certain moments. So as my feedback there, be careful what you say, stay objective, and don't get biased. And then the second point that I talked a lot about with some people is the top plays or highlights that you put into the video. Like, I don't know, like you only have the highlights from stream. I think you do, right? But I'm pretty sure there was way more better stuff on stream that was worth it to put in. And if that's not the case, why don't you ask the players that played in games which were not on stream if they have something to show off? Because I'm pretty sure there are some players that either recorded the games or just had a highlight recorded that you could have put into the video, which would have made it more interesting, right? So that's something what I would call quality of content. And then there was another statement, like apparently they asked Lux if English had any, or if the ZOP had any influence on the performance. And I talked to Lux beforehand making this video, so I don't say something bad, but in your video, to the outside, it comes as you state that English and having a substitute in general had no influence at all on performance. And that's just something that I ask myself, wait, what? And it was stated that Lux even said that both things are true, or at least that's how I interpreted the video, and other people did so as well. Like, it's not like I'm alone with this, that's why I'm bringing it up. So that's like something that really bothers me, you know? Like saying that it had no influence at all. Like that's again what I would call like bad journalism, if you can call it. So you need to know what's true and what's not true. You need to stay objective, and that's not objective because anyone like who understands the game at least, or like in any game, if you suddenly have a substitute that will have any influence on the performance, yes, it's true that we had to talk English, and yes, it's true that that mostly had no influence on our performance, like or like on our communications, because everyone can speak English mostly well. But saying that having Bugur in our team, which was a pretty cool guy by the way, shout outs to him to playing again, had no influence at all. It's like, what the fuck? And now to my last point, and that's something that I find sad. You mentioned in the video, Lausanne, vous êtes où? And we're talking about why they're not here even though it's Sunday, and they said last season they cannot play because it's on Saturday. Well, you need to inform yourself. Like, I've talked with Nurse and Torix beforehand. I asked them if they're gonna come to the tournament or not, and they said no, they're not gonna come. And there are multiple reasons, but the first one being is, oh wait, it's summer break, summer vacation. And that feedback got dropped back multiple times already, that why are you even doing this tournament when it's summer vacation, it's summer break? And that's okay, you know, but then going back at them and firing shots at like, hey, why are you not there? It's really questionable. And not only if it was summer break, because if you think of it, their chance of qualifying for the finals is pretty much zero if they're only gonna play in 2 tournaments. So why would they even play? So before making such shots, I think you should maybe talk to them first if you didn't, because they surely had their reasons not to come. So that much about the video. Just note, those are free thoughts coming. I didn't script this or anything. But let's talk about the second topic, or overall second topic, which is the No Mercy League. There's some feedback I want to give. And yeah, that's really important to me. So the season 2 just started, or just started. It's halfway through actually, if you think so. And there also was an interview beforehand with me. And just let me jump on that in really shortly. I myself was happy that I could give an interview or like be part of it, but I was really like yeah, disappointed by the interview. Well, but I couldn't be arsed at the point to like give that feedback. I was just like, yeah, whatever, let's just bring it out. And that's mostly because it was like so superficial, like the content or the questions that were asked, and meh, I expected more. Let's say it like this. However, let's go back to No Mercy League in general. So I got asked in that interview as well what I think of the tournament system. And I said there that the tournament system is a good idea, but overall it's just a shitty choice for how many teams there are at. Why is this? Well, this tournament system pretty much based on that it tries to get it pretty much works like matchmaking, right? It will always pair up the teams with the closest win rate or the same win rate. So logically thinking, if I understand it right, this system is best the more rounds are played. So why are we playing the systems when there is, let's say, 10 teams? That's just, I don't know, I feel like it falsifies maybe the results. In my opinion, the system should only be played like if we have 24 plus teams, so you have 5 rounds at least, like you had in the first 1 or 2 qualifiers, because then the results are represented best. Else you should do a double elimination system or something like that, because it's just better. I don't know how we will do that with the points and so on then, but there should be a way to fit the points into double elim as well, I think. Then second point, which is the spectating and costing. So there was also the comment in the video before that the game got commentated very well, and I guess that was also meant for the spectating. And I'm sorry to say, but I have to disagree. And there's 2 points. So let's talk about the spectating. I've talked to so many people, and there's pretty much this running meme that if you watch No Mercy League, what you're gonna do is watch like 70 or 80% of Genji. Like, it's a bit exaggerated, and it's less than it used to be, but it's still the fact. Like, most of the time we're gonna watch Genji or a soldier, and that's just not fun, you know? You don't see what's happening. And I've talked to like Scenarios once and gave him a bit of feedback about his casting and the spectating overall, and I think I should forward this to Leroy as well. Like, Leroy is a cool guy, and again, respect for you guys doing this. I think you do this voluntarily, so you don't get paid or anything, and even more respect. But in my opinion, that's no reason that we have a low quality because of that. So what needs to change about spectating? Well, you need to start also spectating other people, but not just randomly. You need to try to do it in the right moment. So if you see the enemy Genji as a blade, why not go on the Ana first to see if she can hit the sleep dart when the Genji blade's in? Or when you see the Zenyatta as ult, why not stick on him and see out of his perspective how it is to be dove on by 3 people? That's way more like, you need to have diversity, because else it's just boring to watch that stream. I'm not there to watch I don't know, enemy Genjis. I don't dare to watch the Knicks Genji who's not even playing anymore because they're not interested in the tournament anymore. I'm not interested to watch AZ from Geneva eSports 24/7. That's not what I tune in for in the stream. So try to change the spectating, mix it up and who you spectate, look who has an ultimate or what combination could come up, and give like different insights for everyone. And about the casting, I just think, I don't know. I have very high standards when it's about that. I've custom myself, but I just think people need to try to get better at it. Like, look at the VOD review ones, or ask other people how they thought your casting was, because I think it was lackluster. I know you're not professionals. I'm not a professional either, but there's a bit more to expect. I know that Leroy already did some really good castings, you know. Like, yeah, he had some moments that I loved, and they even clipped one, I think, and put it into the Discord. But he needs to try to get more consistent at that. I would love that. So that's my feedback for that. If those certain individuals want to come back to me, go ahead. Then third point is, what is even the price for No Mercy League 2 for the season 2? I still don't know. I still don't know if we received the price for the first season. That's something that needs to be communicated beforehand, in my opinion, because what the hell am I even playing for, right? And going on to that, I will just touch onto what I think is lackluster as well, and this is probably mainly a Spartan's fault, which is communication. Like communication and such things is key in my opinion, or it's like always key nearly. So there's one thing, for example, you need to communicate what is the price. And another thing that you need to communicate or would have had to communicate is, for example, in the league update from last week, there was a mistake with the standings. And I was like, when I watched this, how come 3 teams can have the same points? It doesn't make sense. It would be really unlucky with the Buchholz further out goal. And I didn't think of it too much yet because I wasn't sure yet if I would play again. So whatever. However, 30H then asked in the Discord when it suddenly got changed, without even saying that it got changed, which one is the right one? The one in the video or the one on eSports.ch? And that's something that's not allowed to happen. Like if you make a change, you need to report that or at least comment it and say, hey guys, we made a mistake in the video, but we corrected it. Here's the correct standings. So that's a no-go in my opinion. Also, for example, if we go on the topic communication and help, like I know from many people that they've had some ideas to a Spartan, or I don't know whom, at least for me, on what they could do to make No Mercy League better, or that they even offered help and so on. For example, in season 1, I told a Spartan, look, if you want, I can also cast at the finals. So you have, if you don't have a cost or whatever. And his first answer was like, yeah, we discussed that, but we don't find it professional if you play and cast at the same time. It's like, okay, that's your opinion, I'll accept it, even though I think it would be great for insight on the stream and so on, and it was okay for me. But like then 1 week prior to the final, he suddenly asked me, hey, the guy can cost because in military or is not around, would he cost for us? And I still said yes, because first of all, I like to cost, and second of all, I like to help, but that's something a bit questionable, right? First you say, yeah, no, we're not gonna let you cast because you're playing, and then suddenly you're like, oh, please, we could need your skills to cast, and it's a bit double standard. So that's something, again, that I would have put under communication. But overall, I feel like there's so many missed opportunities and so many points where they should have just taken the help of someone, or should have taken the opinion of someone, and build up on that. Like I've given some ideas that they could do, like a video prior to the first season, because I expected some teams to come. They could have talked with them teams. Next eSports, there was a French team that I mentioned. There was an Italian team that I mentioned. They all didn't come. Why did they suddenly not come? Who knows? Or they could have done team portraits, or there's so many things you could do to make the league more interesting, or maybe even drag in more people to play. I mean, there was a team from the USA playing. How come a team from the USA plays, but the teams in Switzerland aren't playing? Like something's wrong, and that's saddening, in my opinion. And yeah, that's what I can pretty much say about the Mercy League. I think it's a great idea overall, but the execution is wrong. And let's not forget about the summer vacation thing. Like, you cannot schedule it in summer vacation, and no team, or many teams, didn't even know that it's gonna start, because there was what, a tweet 1 week prior, not even 1 week, I think. And that's really something that needs to change. And why does it need to change? Because it's important for Swiss esports. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, often there is a talk about Swiss esports, that Swiss esports, yeah, gets laughed upon or is a joke or whatever, and yeah, I can see why, you know? Like, there are so many great ideas around, but the execution of those ideas often is just, ugh. Like, I ask myself, why? If you do it right. And that's, for example, the No Mercy League communication. You need to you advertise that better. You need to advertise it at all, I think, so people actually know that it's happening and not just 1 week prior. And as for now, I can cut back on eSports.ch. What I give feedback here is, I think if we want to get esports further, as an organizer, as a journalist, or like whatever, anyone who has some part of the esports, we need to make sure that the quality of our content is as high as possible. So for example, I have a question or two for you. Are the videos you do for eSports.ch, are they scripted or are they on their own, like this video? Are you even up to date with stuff? And who picks the place, for example, for the No Mercy League part? Those are all things that I ask myself when I watch those videos, because many times, like, I find myself somewhat answering no, or like, oh, that's what are they doing? Come on. And also, like, you need to find your identity. Are you like serious journalist, or are you more also fun journalist? An example, I think there were videos with like those funny subtitles or names for the commentators some weeks ago. You stopped that, I think, but find your identity, because it wasn't funny in my opinion. And then there's the last point, is like depth of content, and that was something that I touched on before about the interview that was done with me. Like, if you do something like that, you need to get out the depth that is interesting and not keep it so superficial, because the questions that were asked me, like, were like I tried to give deeper insight so it's more interesting, but you can ask like provocative questions as long as you don't step too far, for example, to get more interesting stuff out. Like, if you talk to me about it, like, well, you could ask like stuff. Oh, I have a typo. See, quality of content. Here we are. For example, there's a meme on Twitter that I don't hit any sleep darts. You could have picked that up in a funny way and asked, is it true that Sharper doesn't hit a sleep dart? And then ask me after that, what is in your opinion the best support player in Switzerland, or something like that. You need to build it up into something and have an idea. Like, even myself, I didn't script this thing, but I have written down some notes so I know what I'm gonna say. And yeah, that's something that I feel like we need to improve Swiss esports, and also like the Overwatch scene is overall, because the Overwatch scene needs it badly right now, even in Switzerland, not only worldwide but also in Switzerland. Like, if you compare the first qualifier to the last, it's 24 teams to 8. That's pretty saddening. And one last thing is, you should ask people, like, but that's basic journalism. And I could contradict myself here, but I think it's fine that I showed this on stream because I didn't copy paste anything. However, and I didn't let something go down or play. So you need to ask people if you can use their logo, if you can use their content and all that. If it's something self-made, like for example, I have this picture in the background. I even have it watermark. I have okay, you cannot see it now. I'm stupid, but there's a DeviantArt link to it. Whenever I stream with this, there's also the DeviantArt link to who made it. It's something important, copyright stuff, I think. But I don't know the laws, but at least ask them if it's okay if you use that picture from SPG or whatever, or if you use the picture from My Insanity, or if you use that picture from that, or if you use that or that. Like, at least ask them. They will be fine. But if there's something I made by someone, ask them. Like, if someone made a video about it and you want to feature that, that's super. I like it. But ask them beforehand. Don't just use it. And yeah, that's the last thing I'd say. So overall, let's break it down. Communication from the No Mercy League part needs to improve. Overall content, I think quality needs to improve. And here's the thing, there are people that are willing to help. You just need to ask them. So if it's, for example, for the top plays, you can show them which plays you would, or show one person which plays you would put in. Like ask Lux or ask any one of the top teams, do you think they're interesting to watch? And then you show them those 2 plays or whatever, and then they will say yes or no. And that takes you what? 2 minutes, literally. Or if you don't know how you would describe the lost qualifier, ask someone. Like ask someone, or in that case, I would ask more than one person, so you get a general point of view, so that it's also accurate. Because that's something that annoyed me, and I was in Discord today when I saw the video. I was furious because I was like, come on, you can do better. So without further ado, this video was longer than I thought it would be. Thank you anyways for tuning in. Leave feedback for me. Tell me what I did wrong, that I did right, or where you agree or where you disagree, and have a nice evening. Goodbye.